Hey, and good afternoon. I am so glad you guys have joined me here today. I'm Angela Brown, and I'm here with Sean Day from Hire, Lead, Chill. Now, one of the most interesting things about today's conversation is we are going to have a really difficult conversation that many of you ask me about all the time, which is how do I find and hire good employees, right? So we've gone right to the source himself. And Sean has owned a professional house cleaning company for 20 years. And so he ran into a lot of the same challenges that many of us have run into over the years. So we're going to ask all the questions today, and Sean is going to give us all the answers. Please help me welcome Sean Day. How are you today, Sean?
Good, Angela. Thanks for having me on. Hi, everybody.
All right, so I've got a couple of questions. How do we find employees that we can bring into our company culture that will be a good fit for us?
The number one thing that I see that I never used to do until I really, really understood the business. And as Angela said, I had a cleaning company for 20 years. And I can tell you that I never used to research my labor market. I never once researched my labor market. I can tell you what my competition was charging. I can tell you the demand side of it, the marketing side of it, but I never really understood it. So you can get a lot from that. One of the ways that you can do that is getting on Indeed.com, and they've got free things you can look up. ZipRecruiter's got some free insights that you can look up and find out what others are doing and paying. And one of the big things that you can do on some of the job boards is find the keywords that people are looking for when people, meaning job candidates, job seekers, what are they actually typing in when they're looking for a job? And so if you're looking at keywords on the job boards and they give you those keywords are keywords that are coming from the job candidate and the job seeker. And I'll give you an example of how important it is. We owned a window cleaning company in Minneapolis, Minnesota, one north Cincinnati, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, Ohio. And we used the job title general labor in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, if I just said that works great there, and we hired 40 technicians there, we've got a much smaller cleaning company in Cincinnati, Ohio. And if I said, oh, we don't need to do the research, it works great in Minneapolis, we'd lose about 40% of our applications that come in because house cleaning or house cleaner job title worked much better there. It's different. It's very much like this. If you smack me in the face with a sneaker, I wouldn't know what you hit me with. I buy tennis shoes. I have no idea what a soda looks like. I buy pop where I'm from. Those things matter in different parts of the country. So that's one of the things I see. There's a lot of other things I can tell you, but that's one thing I think that maybe your audience hasn't thought about that I wanted to just kind of give a little golden nugget.
Well, when we speak about researching the job market, are you talking about just researching other cleaning companies? Are you talking about other jobs that are in the same general home service or the same price range?
When I say general labor market, I mean not just ABC Cleaning Company. I mean, do you have an Amazon warehouse? That's your competition. Retail, that's your competition. One of the best things that we found out a couple of years ago as a strategy is we're able to hire a lot of people that work at motels and hotels. And, imagine what you see in clean and it's 24/7, 365, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and all that, and compare that to your job. Sometimes you walk into a home, you don't even know it's dirty because you're doing it for maybe somebody that just needs some dusting. And so it's a whole different thing, and you're going to make more money doing that. So it's basically whoever is in that market that you would hire. And it doesn't have to be somebody at another cleaning company, no, or another home service business for that matter. It could be retail, it could be a restaurant. That's our labor market.
So, one of the questions that I'm really curious about is what are some of the characteristics or qualities that you look for in a person that you hire?
I think this will be a little bit different. So when we started putting our recruiting system together, I collected a lot of data and learned a lot through our data. And so what we did was this. After we were getting so much data, I'm thinking I can build a car with this stuff after we're done. So I said, wait a minute, we've got to really focus. What are we actually trying to accomplish here? What is the number one most important thing, piece of data we can find out about a human being that we would want to hire? And we all decided after conversation, it's this. How long are you going to last with my company? Period. End of story. So
Mm.
we've got a series of questions that find that out. One of the questions that we ask is this. If you get the job, which one of these three things would upset you the most? and it's a drop down menu. They have to choose one of our three answers. One of the answers they can choose is someone's always late to work and the owner or manager doesn't say a thing about it. Now, on the surface, that's a very reasonable answer. I'm coming to work every day. I'm 10 minutes early. Jane over here shows up late twice a week and nobody even says anything about it. Here's the problem. If we're looking at the data says this, and this is past employees of ours, that those that answer, someone's always late to work, and the owner or manager doesn't say a thing about it, on average only last 9 months or less with our company. That's it. You get low score for that answer because that's the thing we're trying to find out. So that's one. One you probably haven't thought about, maybe because it's a little unique and quirky, is we find that if we can find technicians that understand business in general, more so than other technicians, they tend to be much, much better employees. The important key to that is maybe their parents owned a business. Maybe they worked for an uncle's pizza place as teenagers. They know business owners. What we find is four things come to the surface. Number one, we tend to not have to babysit them as much. And that was a big pet peeve of mine. I didn't want to babysit employees. Number two is they tend to be better problem solvers and have better judgment. Those two things kind of go hand in hand. The third thing is that they tend to be more loyal. And I think the reason for that is if you know a business owner or you were close to a business owner, you probably know that we work ungodly amount of hours many times. We're really hard workers. We care about good employees in our communities and things like that. I think that creates some empathy towards business owners, which creates loyalty. And the fourth thing we see, and this one not as often, but we tend to see possible good leadership skills. And so if we find two of those four, we kind of have silver. If we get three of those four, we got gold. So that's a little bit unique, I think. But I'll leave you with one question. If there's anything that you take from this, the best question in the world, and it's worth tens of thousands of dollars, and it's very simple. Rate your luck in life from 0 to 10. Let me give you just quick data, Angela, on that with us and most of our clients. The magic number is under 6. Those that answer under a 6 with our companies on average last a whopping 3 months or less with our company. So it's very, very, very difficult to get to an interview table with us if you answer under a 6. There's a couple exceptions to that rule, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of maybe some different things you haven't thought about out there.
Tell me why you asked that question.
I'll give you the answer that probably many of you think is the answer. And in part, it's true. Yep, they're negative. Woe is me. I'm unlucky in life and life just stinks and all that. That's true. But the other a couple things with it, we find that they take zero ownership when things go wrong. They don't help. They never take ownership. Let me give you a quick example. I had two employees. One was a really good employee, positive all the time. The other one, not so. And it's happened to both of them. I'll get 3 complaints from clients in the same week. And it's this employee, and it's the toilets are not clean. It's specific. So when that happens, you know it's our fault. With 3 different clients the same week, exactly the same problem with the same employee. There's no doubt it's our fault. The employee that answers under a 6, when you approach them on it, will say, I have no idea what they're talking about. I do what I always do at every single house I go to. That's what you get with the under 6. The one that's over a 6 is going to be the one that says, you know what? I had a horrible week last week. I will do whatever I can to fix this. Give me their phone numbers. I'll go there Sunday, whatever it takes. That's a whole different story and an attitude that's much different.
I love this conversation. And oh my goodness, our time has come to an
Right.
end. Please tell our listeners where they can go to find you, Shawn.
Absolutely. So you can go to hireleadchill.com. We've got all kinds of information on there. I've got a Facebook. I'm doing podcasts and things like that, like Angela. Hire Lead Chill is our group on Facebook. And if you want to talk to me about anything, you want to see our system, you want to know what I might be able to help you out with finding good employees, giving you some good ideas to try on your own, or hire us. Go to Hire Lead Chill, and there's all kinds of buttons on there that say request free demo with Shawn or something like that, request a demo. And it's not that I'm just going to give you a demo, but I'll answer any questions you have and we'll chat about anything you want to chat about.
Thank you so much, Shawn, for today. This was awesome. You guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Take care.